want to give double honor to the apostle of the great Muslim who's doing on teach one heart attack line for the legend. All right, another beautiful day to come out here and prophesy the downfall of America. All right, because there's nothing better than to speak about your prophecy. Okay, all right. This is let me start off with Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and start at 1. It says here, the word that Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldees by the prophet Jeremiah. All right. It says, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. So the things that the Lord wants us to say, all right, as he was saying through Jeremiah, we don't need to conceal them. We need to publish them, make it known. I was listening to the Elder Manat Nazan's video earlier he did about an Israelite man or somebody that knows about being a Hebrew Israelite speaking about the teaching in the camps or is wicked or that's the devil or some nonsense that Jake was saying, I can't remember. But when the elder had went into the word preach, it says something about publicly proclaiming, okay? All right, being a heralder, okay? And that's what we are. We are heralders for the namesake and speaking and prophesying in the namesake of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, okay? All right, so when it says here, publish, verse 2 again, it says, declare you among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confused, Marduk is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. So all the idolatry that America propagates, okay, from the worship of Cesare Borgia to the worship of money, women, all right, you know, materialistic things, all these things are going to be destroyed, all right? Let me get this in the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay? All right, so those idols, all right, whether they be materialistic things or people, all right, they're all going to be in one way, shape, form, or fashion destroyed. Okay? All right? It says here, verse 3, it says, for out of the north, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and shall none dwell therein. They shall depart both man and beast. So America is going to be to the point where that the only thing that's going to be dwelling here, let me go back into the book of Isaiah, all right, where it's stated that, let me go here. Once those missiles start firing, the death and destruction is ran rampant everywhere, all right? This is Isaiah 34, and I'm going to start at, I'm going to start at 8. It says here, for it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the stream thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. That's going to happen by thermonuclear missiles, all right, ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and on top of that, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be on those missiles. Like if you read in Joel, the 2nd chapter, it'll tell you that those missiles aren't going to miss their mark. They're going to run to and fro throughout the city, destroying and just demolishing any and everything, okay? It says here, verse 10, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever from generation to generation. It shall lie waste, none shall pass through it forever and ever. And this is what's going to happen to America, man. All right, this is reading about America's future. Okay, all right. This is what's being proclaimed to happen in America. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to fix this. I don't want it to overheat. The sun is out, which is a great thing. It's a wonderful day. All right, but I don't need my phone to overheat. So Lord will, the book can stay up there and keep it from take it from the sun. All right, this is continuing on in Isaiah 34. So I'll go back to Jeremiah 50. Salakia. This is Isaiah 34 and 11. All right, it says here, but the cormorant and a bittern shall possess it, the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. You're not gonna be able to tell where was Texas from California. Or you're not gonna be able to tell where New York was or is from Maine, you know? All right, everything is gonna be a line of confusion. All right, there's not gonna be any more state lines, there's not gonna be any more signs that say now entering Las Vegas or Nevada, whatever, whichever. Yeah, Nevada is the state. All right, all right. There be any more signs that say that. All right, the border lines that they drew up to separate the states is not going to be no more. All right. It says here, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And the thrones shall come up, and thorns shall come up in her palaces, and nettles and brimbles in the fortress thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court of owls, a court for owls. So nothing is going to be here but ravenous beasts, man. Owls, a cormorant, whatever that is. It says it's a pelican. All right, and then that's what it says in my footnotes. Verse 14. Salakia. It says the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellows. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the gray owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. So all the ravenous beast that's going to be out here once the place is destroyed, you're reading about it, you're hearing about it. Okay, all right. These things are going to come to pass, man. All right, and we are more than welcome. We are more than welcoming it. We are praying for it. Okay, we are wanting this to come to pass so we can be delivered out of this hellhole, man, called America. All right, where man dresses up as women and vice versa. Homosexuality is rampant. Our people are in the mindsets of degenerate individuals. They don't know who they are, and it's since them not knowing who they are. Like I was telling the guy that was out here the other day talking to me on Wednesday. Since we don't know who we are, we're not aware of who we are. Right? We do things that lead us toward the definition of who they call us. Like I was telling the man that we're not black, or they call us black, but when you look up the definition for the word black, it has a lot of negative stigma behind it. Well, with that negative stigma behind it, our people act like the word black. All right, they act void of light. They act niggardly. They act desperate. They act. Let's see what else it says. I got a picture of it in my phone. Give me 1 second. Our people fit the shoe and wear it. trying to go through and find the picture. All right, I got it. It says here, it's a lot. Okay, so it says soiled with dirt, dirty, absence of light or the presence of very little light, uh, outrageously wicked, serving unmitigated condemnation, dishonorable, discreditable, disgrace, dishonor, discredit, guilt, the devil, connected with some baneful aspect of the supernatural, especially the devil. Sullen, hostile, unqualified, extreme, constituting, committing, or connected with a violation of an official quota. All right. Illicit, illegal. There's so many different aspects of the definition that when you call yourself black, that's who you fit, all right? And then our people act in that manner. They act in that nature because they don't know who they are, as I was telling the gentleman on Wednesday, all right? But we know who we are, all right? If you see yourself on this sign, you are one of the Lord's chosen people, man, all right? If your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right? All right, we know who you are. You know who you are if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all right? Going back to Jeremiah 50. Man. All right. All right, we're just gonna see what happens. Lord will, the phone don't overheat. It didn't overheat the other day. All right, I gotta tilt the phone down so the book cover can stay on the thing. But nonetheless, looking at me is not the purpose of being out here. All right, or the purpose of you watching the video. Listening to the words that the Lord allowed me to speak is the purpose of you listening to this video. All right, so verse 4 says, in those days, in the time, says Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together going and weeping, they shall go and seek Yahweh their power. And this is the time now where we need to be seeking the Lord, man. Both Judah and Israel, man. You northern kingdom tribes, along with you southern kingdom tribes. Now is the time where you need to go weeping and crying. Why should you be weeping and crying? Because of the stuff that's happening to you in your personal life, the stuff that's happening to your people and their lives, and their day-to-day, the things that you can see that's happening that you can't do nothing about, right? And the things that's happening worldwide, okay? The things that's happening worldwide is ultimately going to lead to us being up out of here, right? What I mean by that, the wars, the wars, the earthquakes, the weather patterns, the blood moons and things of that nature, right? Those are tall tale signs of us getting closer to being up out of here. But with time's getting closer for us to being up out of here, we're going to be in deep trouble. All right, what I mean by that, I mean Jacob's trouble is what I mean by that. And only the elect is going to be saved out of there. But for the times that we're coming into, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians need to be crying unto the Lord. Because we don't have anything else, man. We don't have nothing else. You could break your back for this society and end up with nothing at the end of the day. All right, you could work hard all 365 days of the year, every day of your life, and don't end up with a dime. All right, what was all that labor for? Is for nothing, right? That's another reason you should be crying out to the Lord. All right, but if you work for the Lord, you are for sure to have a reward that's everlasting, man, and that everlasting reward is salvation. All right, being the first fruits of the kingdom, having wine, drinking wine with the Lord, eating at the marriage supper. Okay, all right. Serving and reigning with the Lord, man. Okay, all right. But now is the time to go crying, weeping unto the Lord, man, because of all the things that you're going through, because all the things you see your people going through, for the vast amount of wickedness. Okay, all right. It says here, they shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thither toward, saying, "Come, let us join ourselves to Yahweh in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten." And that covenant, we're not in it yet, but it's going to be the second covenant, man. All right, where he puts the law, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts, where we're going to be alive forever, all right? Where there's not going to be any forms of anything that's going to harm us, man. Let me get that in Revelations. This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. It says, "And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." And that's what we're going to inherit, man. All right, this is what we're going to inherit instead of inheriting debt, instead of inheriting stuff that's going to be destroyed ultimately by thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. It says here, "My people have been lost sheep; their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place." And how did they do that? Like an example would be being off in these churches, man. Those are so-called pastors, right? And those pastors, they have led the Lord's people to go worshiping idols. And I seen a video today where there was a pastor in there in the church talking about, hey, you got goals, you got to meet these goals, and with one of these goals, you got to go for paying $100 and something a week to the church. You know, it's all just a money scheme. And those that don't see it, the Lord got you in a damn trick bag, man. The scriptures say, I believe it's in Job, the deceiver and the deceived are his. Okay, and those individuals that stay off of these churches, get raped, robbed, and suckered into giving up their money, nobody's going to feel sorry for you, man. I don't feel sorry for you, because there's plenty of Hebrew Israelite individuals out there teaching that you are the Lord's people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, that you are the Lord's people. But you choose, all right, to not partake in worshiping the true power. You choose and partaking and worshiping in an idol. You choose and partaking in worshiping what a man says in regards to being in these churches, instead of what the scriptures say, the full truth and totality of what the scriptures say. All right? Our people love wickedness and want to have it so, man, to the point where they're going to be destroyed, man. All right, they're going to be destroyed. They forgot Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai was their resting place. They forgot these scriptures is where their true rest is, within the Lord. Okay, because we're not in the kingdom yet. We haven't seen the Lord with these eyes, right? That we are currently inhabiting bodies with. Okay, all right, and all of that is going to come when we get into the Lord's kingdom. We're going to see the Lord. We're going to meet the Lord. All right. It's going to be a bunch of us, man. There's going to be millions of us, like the Lord promised to Abraham. All right, you shall have, your seed shall be as the sand of the sea or the stars of the sky. There's going to be plenty of us, man. All right. And we're going to be back in good graces with the Lord, all because of Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. All right. But you have to make a sacrifice now. Your sacrifice now should start with you learning the names of the Lord. Your sacrifice now should start with you stop being a coward and repent from your transgressions. Right? Your sacrifice right now should be bettering yourself as a man, woman, or child of the Lord. All right. All right. The Lord is our resting place, man. All right. Let's see. What does this say? Isaiah 53:6. All right, I'm gonna read this. This is good. This is talking about the Lord's sacrifice ultimately, but this is Isaiah 53:6. It says here, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahweh have laid upon him the iniquity of us all. All right, so because we transgressed the laws of the Lord, because we sought to worship idols, because we sought to forsake the Lord, because we sought to go do things as the heathens have done, okay? The Lord Yahweh Shai has paid that price for us, okay? But we have all gone astray. We have all turned. Let me look up the word astray. All right, let me look it up in the Hebrew. All right, so that word astray in the Greek is ta'ah. Okay, it says to err, wander, go astray, stagger. All right, to wander about physically, of intoxication. Okay, and we have been intoxicated by the ways and the words of the world. Okay, and those ways and the ways and the words of the world have been implanted or engulfed in our minds, and then we act on the things that we hear or see. Okay, it says here, it says to cause to err, mislead mentally or morally. And that's what sin does. That's what, when you read about the kings of Israel and how they didn't pay homage to the kings that they were in subject to. All right, the Lord allowed them kings to come in some instances, take over the land in an instance and take whatever riches that they had, right? Because the king didn't want to pay tribute to the individual, right? But also on top of that, because of our transgressions from the leaders that caused Israel to sin, such as setting up idols at one point and an entry and an exit point of, well, in Dan, and I can't remember where the other place was, where they were setting up golden calves, man, I just read it the other week, man. It was Jeroboam who did it. All right, he set up those golden calves in Israel, which caused them to sin. All right, let me see. All right, yeah, Jeroboam leads Israel to sin. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just get straight to the point. This is what our people have been subjected to in this time and in the past lives. All right. It says here, uh, verse 25. It says, "Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if his people go up to sacrifice in the house of Yahweh at Jerusalem. Then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah, and they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. And this thing became a sin for the people to worship before the one, even unto Dan." All right, so that was a transgression that we are still paying for as a whole nation, but that was more particular to the northern kingdom, Israel. But we are all in the same boat when we transgress against the Lord, because we all are guilty of idol worship. Okay, we all are guilty of idol worship. All right, when we need to be turning back to our Lord Yahweh, which is our resting place. All right, these idols, this comfort, this money, this food, the education system, the things, the media, it's all filled with poison. Poison can go from the lies to the disinformation and the things that can mislead you to go astray from the Lord. Like the pastors of these churches, like these other Hebrew Israelite groups that is not teaching the same thing as the Men of Great Millstone, okay? All right. You also have false religions that will lead you astray, okay? Like Islam, being a Christian, I'm trying to think what else, man. Buddhism, all right? All these things could lead you astray, and they have led the Lord's people astray. And if we continue to partake in these things, they will lead you astray, take you away from your power. All right. This is why America needs to be sought out and destroyed. All right, by the Lord. The Lord already knows. The Lord already sees it. Okay. We just waiting for the Lord to come do it. That's why we praying and crying unto the Lord. All right. This is going back into Jeremiah 50. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 7. It says, "All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, their habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers." And we have sinned against the Lord, as the things I was just mentioning unto you. All right? As the things I was just mentioning unto you, as far as the idol worshiping, okay? All right? Both Judah and Israel, both the northern and southern kingdom, have transgressed against the Lord, okay? All right? All right, it says here, remove out of the midst of the Babylonian, remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he goes before the flocks. For lo, I will rise up and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So America's destruction is going to be brought forth by Russia, because that's that north country, okay? And you got China, you got North Korea, all right? You got Iran, that conflict is continually growing, okay? 13, 14 days in right now, maybe 15, half a month of days going in, right? And all these things are good things that's happening, right? Prophetic wise, okay? Because guess what? it's just one step closer to us getting up out of here, man. All right, this is getting on my nerves. This is just one step closer to us getting out of here, man. Okay, all right. So let America keep doing this nonsense throughout the world, and then we gonna wait for the Lord to turn up. Okay, all right, and we just gonna go from there. But all we got to do now is have faith, repent, and for myself, just keep prophesying. All right. But the arrows that these nations are going to shoot over here, intercontinental ballistic missiles, they're going to come and not return in vain, as the scriptures just said. Okay. All right. I'm trying to get some balance into this. All right, Salakia, the wind. I mean, yeah, the wind keeps knocking the book cover off, and I'm trying to cover up my phone so it don't overheat while I'm out here teaching, because the sun is right there, literally hovering above my phone, which is fine, because it's a good sunny day, man. Like I was saying earlier, it's a good day to prophesy against America, man. Okay. But as I was mentioning, the North Country, through the Spirit, the North Country, which is Russia, is going to be sending intercontinental ballistic missiles over here. So are these other nations, man. That's in line with the downfall of America. North Korea, China, Iran, wherever else, you know. All right, I'm gonna just look up ICBM. All right, intercontinental ballistic missile is a guided land-based missile with a minimum range of 5,000 kilometers, over 3,400 miles, primarily designated for nuclear weapon delivery. All right, and that's what's going to happen. All right, it says traveling at speeds exceeding 24,000 kilometers per hour, or it says Mach 20 plus. ICBMs follow a suborbital parabolic trajectory, reaching targets anywhere in the world in roughly 30 minutes. Key processors include the United States, Russia, and China. Possessors, Salakia, includes Russia, United States, and China. Okay. It says primary strategic deterrence and deliverance of nuclear warheads intended to destroy enemy cities or military infrastructure. That's the purpose of it, okay? Now, the Lord is going to have those things shoot over here. You see the damage and destruction that's happening in Israel and Tel Aviv and the other cities within the land of Israel that Iran is bringing upon Israel, all right? You see the destruction that's going on, vice versa, from what America and Israel is doing to Iran. And you can see what Iran is doing to these other countries, man, all right? You can see how the plumes of smoke, the residue of the destruction, the decaying buildings, the dead or missing people under the rubble of these destroyed buildings. It's all going to happen, but it's going to happen at a greater mass with these thermonuclear missiles, right? There was a video I seen where one of the missile shots from Iran, it had multiple warheads, like a cluster bomb, okay? It had multiple warheads inside the bomb. So those, when they made their passage through the defense system that they have set up over there in Israel, all right, those bombs, those warheads hit multiple targets, right? Cluster bombs, okay? And those were supposed to be outlawed or something like that. but only three nations that did not sign the treaty for those was Israel, Russia, and Iran. And Iran is using them as a defense or an offensive tactic for their retaliation towards Israel and America. Right? We just need them shits to start flying over here towards America, man. All right, like literally, stop hitting the bases, hit the people, hit the country, like they hit your country, man. But it's gonna happen in due time with the Lord. Okay, that's gonna happen in due time with the Lord. All right. But let me read some more. I'm just trying to angle it so I can back up here. All right, okay, so it should be a little bit better over here. All right, but let me see what else is said in regards to those thermonuclear missiles. All right, it says the range. It says how they work. It says they use multiple rocket motors or stages to launch into space, then re-enter the atmosphere to hit targets with high accuracy. They usually silo launched. Uh, the Minuteman III, they are usually silo launched. Okay, so like I read that wrong. It says only the United States, Russia, and China currently deploy land-based ICBMs. Other nations, such as India, are developing long-range Angie 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 missiles. Okay. Uh, it says ICBMs are designed for rapid response and cannot be recalled once launched. They are considered a key component of a nation's nuclear triad. Okay. It says a intercontinental ballistic missile is a delivery vehicle, while a nuclear weapon is the payload it carries. All right. So those nuclear missiles, those nuclear warheads, all right, is what's gonna the nuclear weapon is what's going to be dropped once those what did it say? The ICBM gets to a certain point. All right, once that delivery vehicle, which is the ICBM, because it's delivering the warhead, all right, the nuclear warhead, once it gets to a certain point or aspect, it's going to drop that warhead, all right, and then bam, or it's going to deliver the warhead with the missile all the way till it hits the ground. That's just from what I've seen in regards to how missiles work, right? And I could be wrong, right? Because I'm not a missile expert. But missiles are coming. That is a great thing, okay? It's a great thing, all right? Going back to Jeremiah 50, it says here, verse 10, and Chaldea shall be a spoil, and all that spoil her shall be satisfied, says Yahweh. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer, at the grass, and billow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. And that's all going to happen behind those thermonuclear missiles, man. This place is going to be a dry land. It's going to be a desert. That's why you read about, well, when I was reading Isaiah 34, those beasts, those ravenous beasts that's going to be here. And you can read it in Revelation 19 as well, I believe, is there, right? But this place is going to be a desert, man. It's going to be like, you know, how you just imagine Aladdin and they in that cartoon that comes on Disney or came on Disney when you was growing up as a kid, and you could just imagine the desert, dry land. That's how America's going to be, man. All right? Thus saith the Bible. All right? It says here, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. All right, and that's what we want, man. You should want this place wholly desolate. Let's look up that and see what that says, okay? All right, this is what it says for wholly desolate. It says devastation, waste, desolation, a waste. All right, laid, most, desolate, a waste. All right, just look up what you see happening in overseas, or just look up what happens when a missile hits a city. All right, displaced people, buildings crashing on people in devastation in regards to their mindset because they don't know what they're going to do. I seen a video where on TikTok where they have Israeli individuals fleeing into the mountains because their cities are being destroyed. And call lawyer, how about Shemal Shah for that, man? The Lord is cleaning up our homeland, man. All right. Let's see. It says a devastation, a waste, absolute. It says plural construction, and then it has the Hebrew word there for something. I can't pronounce it. It says here, waste, usually of land, city, houses, etc. All right, so waste is going to come to the land of this place, the cities, and then people's houses. All right, it's all going to be a great devastation, man. This is why you need to fear the Lord, because you don't want to be caught up in between a wedge of the building, but you don't want to be caught up between some concrete and the building being hovering right over your head right before it collapses. You can right before it comes down, right, you could die right as it's. What I'm saying is you don't want to be caught up in between a rock and a hard place, literally. All right. And what I mean by that is, let's say the one of these buildings that I'm standing in front of get hit, right? And as it gets hit, you know, you're on one of these top floors, and the floor is caving from below. It's caving from below under you, and then on top of you, the building is also coming down. You know, all right. And you caught in between that. Guess what's going to happen to you? Nothing but death, man. All right. As the building is falling down, the top is falling down. It's all going to crush you, man. And you don't want to be caught up in that devastation. You don't want to be caught up in that destruction. All right, that's just one simple thing I could think of. If I put my mind to it, I could think of more, right? There's going to be famine out here. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on out here, okay? All right. Verse, you know what, before I continue on this, yeah, I'm going to keep reading. This is Jeremiah 50 and 14. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. All right, and her sin is what is she doing to the Lord's people? Killing them, robbing them of their virtue. All right, taking from them what was theirs. All right, look at the slave trade. Look at what Bartholomew de las Casas wrote about the islands down there in South America, what the Spaniards had did, what the Edomites have done. Okay, all right. Look at the Trail of Tears. Look at how Esau Edom had these Carlisle Indian boarding schools. All right. There's a show recently that came out 19 or 1886 or some shit like that. One of them Yellowstone series. And there was a Gadite woman in there. She was pissed off that she was in that school trying to be taught to conform to being a white woman or living in a white society, right? But she stood up and revolted, and her standing up and revolting led to her father being killed, right? But nonetheless, she stood up. She wasn't with that shit, man. They were trying to take away her heritage. And by the force of pain and suffering, that is what Esau was able to do to Jake's all the way up until now, you know? He was able to put fear in them through pain and suffering, okay? All right? But we in a time now of rising up, right? The sins of Esau are being found out. The Lord is exposing this man, okay? All right? And I'm going to read 14 again. It says, Jeremiah 15:14, put yourself in array against Babylon, round about all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. All right? And those arrows go into what? Those thermonuclear missiles, man. All right? We're going to read about some more in Second Esdras, but I want to look up this word arrows and see what it says. All right, the word for arrows is chats, and it says arrow. It says chats, also interchangeable. It says properly a piercer, i.e. an arrow, by implication, a wound figuratively of Yahweh. They got thunderbolt. But those missiles are piercers, okay? It says the shaft of a sphere, which is the arrowhead, like the little diamond, the little crusted diamond thing. All right, the little triangle. All right, that's what that is. All right, that's what that could potentially be. All right, but the missiles have those on there as well. All right, and they're gonna come hit America. All right, it says here, arrows are of God, lightning. That's what they got here. A wound inflicted by an arrow. That's what it's gonna be, and those wounds are gonna be the devastation that you see. You could look up and see the devastation that's happening amongst Israel and Iran as far as those arrows being shot back and forth. All right, let me get what I was going to read in Second Esdras. Have you heard about this before, sir? Yeah, what have you heard about it? I'm sorry, can you say that again?
About how the 12 tribes and basically how the 12 tribes they had different beliefs in how they believed in God, basically.
Yeah, so we if you see yourself here on the sign, you go back to those individuals, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But what the world teaches and what the Bible teaches is two different things, you know? Yeah. So if you see yourself here on this sign, you're an Israelite, man. And the reason I'm out here is to tell our people to repent and turn back, because the Lord's about to come destroy this place. And you can see with the wars going on and all the trials and tribulation happening in the world, something great is about to happen. And the greatest thing that's about to happen is the Lord's people is about to be delivered and taken home, you know? So we don't have to continue to live in poverty, continue to live in unknowingness, you know what I'm saying? Being lost, you know?
Right.
Because shit, you know, everybody has hard troubles, you know?
All the time.
And as you go through those hard troubles, you need somebody to lean on to. The Lord is who we lean on to, you know? Not this image that they painted as the white man, this Jesus Christ bullshit, because that's not who the Lord is. The Lord is a so-called black man. You know that, right?
Right.
Yeah, the Lord is a so-called black man. So when they tell you or preach at you Jesus Christ, they want you to worship an idol, which is what they have as this image of a white man, you know, because it all goes back to uh, whitewashing. Basically,
Yeah.
they took an image of the Lord out of the Bible and they painted it as themselves,
Right. So
as
they
themselves.
wanted to be as an image of who they is. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
Yep. You be safe, sir. Thank you. All right. As I was telling the brother, all right, the gentleman. All right. This is let's see. Oh yeah, this is First Maccabees 3:48. It says here, and laid open the book of the law where the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right, so they took our image and tried to paint what the Lord looks like, and in regards to them, they wanted the Lord to be a white man. So and since they're in power, they did that, you know. But we're coming back into power through the word, and as the word gets pushed, the elect is going to be sealed sooner or later, man. All right, that third world war needs to happen. The microchip needs to come out and be enforced as having a choice between you take it or you die. All right, because that's what's going to happen. What are you people going to do, man? If you don't turn back to the Lord, if you don't have the Lord now, what are you going to do? You're gonna be caught up in the destruction, the devastation that Babylon is going to be thrown into. Okay, this is Second Esdras, because I was reading about arrows these nations setting themselves in array against Babylon. This is Second Esdras chapter 15. As soon as I get there, where's it 16? Yeah, it's 16. This is Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse. Start at 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sack and hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry for your destruction in the hand. All these nations, all these lands, they're going to have some form of a destruction upon them, because the world needs to be cleansed. The world is going to be refreshed when the Lord steps out on the scene. All right. And it's going to be refreshed because of the destruction that he's bringing, and it's going to be cleaned up, and it's going to be made new when the Lord's kingdom is set up, okay? Or as it's being set up, all right? It says here, verse 3, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and who is he that may drive them away? None of these diseases, none of these weapons of war, none of these pestilences, all right? None of these fires that's coming, the fierce anger of the Lord, all right? None of these things are going to be quenched or stopped by man's cryings, all right? By pleading and bargaining with other nations to not do this or to do this, all right? All these things are going to come to pass, and you as a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian should want and hope for these things, okay? Because these things are going to bring forth your salvation, okay? All right, they may seem bad in the instance now, right? But later on, guess what they're going to be? They're going to be beneficial to you, beneficial for you, okay? All right? When I say what they're going to be, why they're going to be beneficial towards you or for you, is because guess what? After all this destruction happens, you're going to be in the land where you're supposed to be. You're going to be in rulership like you're supposed to be. There's going to be peace on the earth like it's supposed to be. There's not going to be any more crying and suffering like it's supposed to be. All right? It's going to be nothing but peace and safety. Okay? All right? So this is 2 Esdras 16 and 6. It says, may any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it has begun to burn? May anyone turn again an arrow that is shot of a strong archer? And the answer is no. All right, these missiles are going to come and hit Babylon. It's going to wholly destroy this place, okay? And call all Yahweh Shema Shah for this, man. All right? They're not going to be turned away. As I had just mentioned when I was reading about the ICBM missiles, let me see if I can find it again. It says ICBMs are designed for rapid response and cannot be recalled once launched. They're considered a key component of a nation's nuclear triad. Okay, so once the Lord get the nations to sending these things all over here, they're not coming back. They're not getting turned back. And call all your how about Shemal Shai for that. Okay. It says here. The Lord sendeth, the mighty Lord Yahweh sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and he that may quench it. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. Hey, that's what's gonna happen. Like you seen that shit in Terminator. That lady was shaking on the gate and she just was turned into a skeleton. And guess what? That heat, because it's 100 million degrees Celsius, that's as hot as the sun, right? Being close to the sun, as I was reading in times past about thermonuclear missiles, all right? That could turn your body, your skin, your bones into powder, man. All right? All right, it's crazy. All right? It says here, the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves thereof, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before Yahweh and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So do you think somebody can shoot, let's say if they stand right where I'm at, and they have a bow and arrow, do you think they can shoot it from here all the way over there to Russia? The answer is no. All right, what's going to be shot is intercontinental ballistic missiles or hypersonic missiles. Okay, they're going to be shot from all the ends of the earth, man. Okay, all right, so you have to look at things like that in this sense, man. Nobody with a bow and arrow can shoot from here to Russia or to China, or China, if somebody standing in China can shoot with the bow and arrow all the way over here to America. The Lord can make that happen, but who is that going to hit? There's a small chance that's going to hit somebody, okay? All right? Or it's even smaller chance that it's going to make it over the waters, over the lands. It might hit a tree, all right? Something may be in the way, all right? But nonetheless, okay? Nonetheless, what's going to come is thermonuclear missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, all right, that travel at 20 plus Mach speed, okay, all right. It says here, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And the only deliverance is only going to come from Yahweh Shai. Okay, and the Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver his elect. Okay, so if you are not of the Lord's elect, you're going to be caught up in this riffraff, man. If you are not of that 144,000 and that innumerable multitude, all right, you're going to be caught up in all this riffraff. And the only way to be not caught up in this riffraff is if the Lord has predestined you to have faith and believe. And just from a mere aspect of being immortal, because you don't know if the Lord has predestinated you to be selected for not to be destroyed. You just need to have faith that the Lord is going to deliver you from the coming destruction. All right? And if not, there's nothing you can do about it, man. All right? Lord willing was edified. Till the next time, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Yahweh Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who we want to teach well. Hardy Shalom to the elect. Kwam Yasharala, Mawaf Abba Yahweh Mahar, Hawashai, Nawab, Abba Gashab, Abba Gashah, Shalom.